Good morning, Con. It's a good morning to be resting in front of the fire. So it's Sunday, which means it's long run day. It's about 35 degrees outside, a little bit warmer than it was forecast to be. I've got a pretty decent workout going on during this long run. I'm going to be doing about 17 or 18 miles. There's going to be at least one 6-mile section where I'm going to be doing 4 miles of marathon pace, 2 miles of half marathon pace or effort. And then I will probably throw in a couple miles after a 1-mile recovery that are closer to tempo pace or maybe even down to 10K pace. Just mainly to kind of put these guys through the paces here, the Hoka Rocket X2. Want to see how they do when they're really put to the test. So in that weather, I don't think I'll need to go with too many layers. I'm going to wear my Pearl Izumi half tights because they have a lot of pockets. I'll certainly carry a couple of gels with me. Of course, gloves and ear warmers. One of my New York City Marathon shirts, I like it because it's a long sleeve, but it's form-fitting. It's not going to be loose and hanging off of me. And my Injinji toe socks, the lightweight. And I'm going to go with the ones that are kind of the low quarter because I'm not sure how this heel counter is going to interact with my Achilles or not. I know some, but not many reviewers have talked about heel rub being a thing. But I'm just not taking any chances. All right. It would be a nice day to just kind of stay in front of the fire like this little guy, but I need to get my long run in.
Wind's coming straight out of the north.
Morning.
All right, then. Let's try again. Tell us why this is your favorite part of any course. Because people are stupid and they go out too hard, and when they hit this uphill, they die. And I like to watch people die.
That's Ben, everyone.
So it just means that they're worth less.
This is really riveting conversation.
Finance and running. Join us Sunday mornings.
So I just got called out for pushing the pace, and I'm going to blame it on the new shoes. So this is everyone's favorite part of the route except for Ben's.
Oh, God. I'm pretty sure nobody likes this part.
Derek does. Just over 3 miles in. They feel pretty bouncy, not quite as soft as I would have thought from walking around, but still very reboundy. And this is all at easy pace. And listening to these two jokers. Hey, it's a party now. Morning, guys. All right, marathon pace now. Shooting for mid-6s. So we're a couple miles in to marathon pace now, feeling pretty good. I'm averaging about 6:24. I think everyone's got about the same. Just did 4 miles at marathon pace, going straight into half marathon pace now. Gonna shoot for low 6s. Cooch is gonna be with me. Those guys are gonna be doing just marathon pace. So finished the 2 miles of half marathon pace around 6 flat. I think we snuck in 5:59 average actually. And then proceeded to step in a big old pile of mud. So they're broken in. Go Derek. Going. All right, so we're gonna do 2 miles faster. Shooting for about sub-6, maybe the last one faster. And feeling pretty hard, but not undoable. Slight change of plans. As soon as we turned north on Main, got slapped in the face by a headwind. Just working too hard. So, call it after 1 mile. May do some more later, maybe not. In the meantime, here comes Derek doing marathon pace.
Let's go, Derek. 1 or 2? choo-choo. Just one, we may do more later. There's a bit of a headwind. So we're gonna give it a couple more blocks, get past some of the busy traffic, and then give it another try for one more hot mile into the wind, for better or worse. Choo-choo. Well, finished the last hot mile into the wind with an uphill finish. The wind was a headwind the whole way. 5:57 for me, which fastest mile of the day probably on the hardest conditions. Felt like the end of a race. Guess that's how it should. How you feeling, Cooch?
Yeah, same.
All right, 17 miles done, 8 of them fast. The 4 at marathon pace, we're averaging around 6:23, straight into 2 at half marathon effort, which ended up being 6 flat, 5:59. Then we tried to do a couple of faster ones. We had one into the wind, which was for me like a 6:03, but it felt like a 5:40 effort. And then the last one was into the wind with an uphill finish, which I did a 5:57, and it was all I had left. Luckily, we were only a half mile back to the cars by then because I am done. And the mud doesn't look quite as bad right now. Quick cleaning and they'll look, well, they'll never look good new again. But they're good shoes. I like them. More about them later. Here's the bottom. That's where I normally wear the shoes. I can tell I'll probably get a little bit of EVA wear in that little gap in the outsole, but the outsole is pretty stout. These might, I mean, it's hard to say after one run, but they look like they're going to be pretty durable compared to some of the other super shoes. I really like the bounce of the foam. I would compare them to an Endorphin Pro 3, maybe a little bouncier. I could probably use them for more things. Might even say I like them better, which is a lot because that's a universally well-liked shoe. And it's really gonna make Derek wanna buy a pair, I'm sure. So after getting some breakfast and coffee with friends, I'm just kind of walking it out here in downtown Davidson after my run. It's a beautiful day, a little bit cold, but I think it's gonna warm up nicely. So I wanted to talk about these shoes a little bit. I like them, I really do. I think when I started on those easy miles, we always kind of think back, those of us who had the Vaporflies early on, we think back to those first runs we took in super shoes where it was like almost giggle-inducingly fun. And you kind of look for that in any new super shoe now, and I guess I didn't quite get that at first, but it was still a very pleasant roll-off, very smooth thing. I think it's just that I run in so many super shoes now. Anyway, into those first few miles, they started to feel really good. The geometry seemed to work with my feet, with my stride. But they really shined when we slipped into the marathon pace. My legs were not the freshest today, but it seemed like the marathon pace was an appropriate effort and seemed to roll by pretty quickly. And then accelerating into half marathon effort right from that marathon pace, it felt great. I think I ended up going faster than I intended to go, or than I thought I would go. I was looking for more of like a sub 80-minute half pace, which would have been a 6:06. And like I said, those 2 miles coming right off of those 4 miles of marathon pace were like 6 flat or sub 6 on average. And then trying to get a couple of more faster miles after the recovery. Again, getting hit in the face with the headwind didn't help that a lot, but I felt like the shoes still really responded well to faster paces. I think after one 17-mile run with some good paces in there, their wheelhouse is going to be definitely in the marathon and half marathon distances for racing. I could probably take them for a good 10-mile effort as well. Could I race them in a 10K? Sure, I'd probably have fun and feel good doing that. There just might be some faster choices. I might even do a Vaporfly for a 10K. But these are certainly more comfortable than a Vaporfly. I think I like the underfoot response better than an Endorphin Pro 3, which has kind of been my favorite newer shoe of, 2022 and 2023. So yeah, I like them a lot. Are they my favorite? I don't know. It's too early to tell. But I think they're going to be durable. I think they're going to feel good. And they're certainly the best shoe that Hoka has ever produced, in my opinion. Keep in mind, those are my opinions. And I paid my own money for these shoes, so no one's telling me to say anything. We'll see. Again, might want to take them on a few more workouts or see how they are in a race situation. But that's my thoughts on the Rocket X2.